How's it, guys? This is Davey, FPL. Welcome to another Deadline with Davey live stream. This live stream is going to revolve around the upcoming Gameweek 25. Hopefully it's going to be as good of a game week as Gameweek 24 was, because we have risen in rank. But don't worry, that rank has not been updated. I'm going to update it right now. I do apologize. I've been running around a little bit. This live stream caught me off guard, not because of planning. I should have been here. It's just I was running around before this, as it's a bit later here in SA. So let me just update. We have improved the rank quite a bit. So it's no longer the 2 million mark. So let me just update that quickly. It's actually 1.4 million. So pretty significant green arrow, about 600K heading into Game Week 25. Let's hope that it stays like that. And that we managed to get a few more kind of green arrows. Okay, cool. So there, it's updated. We're all good. The timer's fine. Let me know if the audio and the video look and sound Gucci, and then we can head on to this upcoming Game Week 25 live stream. Do apologize, as mentioned, for being about a minute late, but at least we're here. At least we're intact, and let's hope that it's going to be a pretty good live stream. In terms of early team sheet news, we've actually gone from having a significant amount of early team sheet news. Game Week 23, I think we had the Haaland Foden news. Game Week 24, we also had a bit of a kind of early, or actually late fixtures, so we had a few team news leaks from there. But tonight, I don't think we're going to get anything. Tonight's game is pretty boring, but it's still going to be integral to our FPL teams. If you guys don't know, it's Leeds Nottingham Forest. I might be bringing in Anderson. We're going to wait and see. But let's just see what sort of happens. But yeah, not the most high-octane fixture tonight on a Friday evening, I won't lie to you. The one saying good evening to the king and his Davyites. That's a new one. Thanks for that one. Ruff and Reza saying waiting for the master. This season, I don't mind if you guys tune me a little bit. It hasn't been my best season, but let's see. And Vincent saying it's 1:30 a.m. on his side of the world. Absolute champion joining at this stage. I do apologize, Vincent. No chocolate milk. But last week we didn't have it and we got a green arrow. So maybe the chocolate milk hasn't been doing justice. He said, before I go to bed, worth taking a hit to bring in Timber and bench one of Hall or Tarkowski. No, for me, I wouldn't take a hit. I would just play, I'd probably play Tarkowski over Hall, just slightly. I don't think I would take a hit for that one. I think that's a little bit too much for me, but you can do it if you want to, but I think you can always just wait and see, because let's say that Timber gets injured or something like that and you probably want him for the double. You took a -4 to get it, so which is quite bad. So I would just probably wait and see. So just play Tarkowski just slightly over Hall. I don't think Keane's going to start. So if you guys don't know what happened in Game Week 24, I haven't actually seen a Mykolenko update, but basically what happened is that Keane was meant to be on the bench, but then Mykolenko got injured. So then Keane came into the starting 11, and that's why they played with like 4 centre backs as their back four. So that kind of tells me that Keane wasn't the highest priority player in terms of that Everton defence. So I think he's lost his place. I was just keeping him for a potential double game week. Now I regret that. I wish that I went for someone else, but now we've got 2 free transfers, so we can shift things around. So let's see. Thanks, Vincent. Michael saying stream quality all good. Thoughts on Saka to Mbumo and Kelleher to Raya, or just Saka to Rice? So Kelleher to Raya is a bit sideways, Michael. I would try and get Timber if you don't have him. Between Timber and Rice, it's close for me. So between those two, it's close, but Raya is slightly boring. So I think I would rather just do Rice over Raya, but I would try and actually get Timber if you can. I think Timber might be the play to go for. What's your current plan? So the current plan is to definitely take Gordon out. So my thinking, if you haven't seen the team selection, is to be able to afford Gordon to Mbumo or Mbuemo, however you guys want to say it. That's my number one transfer. So I have to find a downgrade then. So the first downgrade I could do is Ekitike to João Pedro or Bowen, or the second one is Ndai to Anderson. And I'm slightly leaning towards the Anderson one. But I might put a poll up later so you guys can tell me your thoughts. But that's the current plan. So it's going to be Gordon to Mbuemo, but I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford that. That's going to be the second transfer. Have a good game week, says Nigel. Bruno G and Thiago out for Anderson and JP for -4, chasing 100 points. Okay, so Bruno G to Anderson is fine, but the Thiago to JP move is very short term. So you're going to want Thiago in 3 weeks' time, but I do agree with you that JP has great fixtures for those next 3. The only thing is that you own him currently, so that means using a transfer to get rid of him, and you probably need a transfer to get him back in. Whereas for my case, I'm only using one transfer to get rid of him, but then I bring him in anyway. So I think I might just hold off on the additional JP to Thiago. I think I might just do the Bruno G to Anderson, Nigel, but that's conservative. I can agree with you that the -4 might be paid off, but it's actually a -4 plus another transfer. Palmer or Fernandez captain, or Fernange, since we're doing pronunciations. It's tough. I think Bruno's still where you probably want to look. I think he's just a little bit safer. But we can go over the projected goals shortly, and then we can maybe check. But I still think United's projected goals are looking pretty good. So I probably would say Bruno Fernange. I have Dorgu and Gordon with 2 free transfers. Should they be my priorities? Rest of the team same as yours. Instead of Anderson defense. Yeah, so I think Anderson, you bring in Anderson for Dorgu. And then Gordon, you can either upgrade or downgrade depending on the money you have. So just let me maybe know the money you have, and then we can make an evaluation. But I think Anderson's fine to bring in this week. Well, what are you planning? So yeah, as mentioned, sorry, I'm just getting a call. So as mentioned, it's going to be Gordon to probably Mbeumo. And then I'm either going to do Ekitike to JP, or I'm going to do Ndai to Anderson. So both of those moves allow me to afford Mbeumo for Gordon, which I think makes sense. A 0.5 in the bank. Okay, so let me just think. Gordon is 7.3. So you can go up to 7.8. You could go for a Rodgers. I think a Rodgers is in that bracket. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I would probably go Anderson and Rodgers, or Anderson even. You can go for a double Anderson this week. Bench 1, Enzo, Cunha, Wilson, or Wirtz. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, when you guys ask these questions, it just makes me realize how stacked your teams must be, because you would want to play all of those players. I mean, maybe like Cunha, I think Cunha should play. There might be some difference around there. It might be Wilson. I think Wirtz is playing well, and I think that game's going to have goals in it. It probably would be Wilson or Cunha for me. Best defender for 4.3. That is, that's very precise. I think you'd probably just go for like an Alderete, to be honest. I think it's like an Alderete's probably. He's like 4.1, but I can go and check for you. I just need to know who's around that price. Yeah, I think like an Alderete is there. I mean, there are your Leeds assets as well. You've got your Hill from Bournemouth. Actually, maybe Hill. Hill's a nice punt, but I think Sunderland look pretty good. Their fixtures are tough though, so it depends how long you have to start him. If you have to play this 4.3 for a while, then maybe go for a Hill, as he's got good fixtures. But otherwise, I like an Alderete. No worries. Wilson to Mbeumo, Richards to Senesi for free. I mean, those moves do look good. The thing is with Mbeumo, I don't think he's like the most need option. Like I like him as an option, and I would like to see United have a bit more longevity in this good form. So I don't think Mbeumo is like a need to have, but I think he's good. He's a good option. I don't think you have to like rip your team up to afford him, but like Wilson to Mbeumo it's closer than I think you think. It's like I don't think Wilson's a bad shout. But United do have some okay fixtures. How are the Fulham fixtures actually? I mean, Man City away, Sunderland away, Spurs at home, but then the fixtures are okay. I mean, West Ham at home, even the Spurs at home. So from like game week 28, they look pretty okay. And then if you look at, I mean, the United fixtures aren't fantastic. I mean, Spurs at home is good, West Ham away is fine, Everton away is okay, Crystal Palace at home has improved. Newcastle aren't playing well, but yeah, I don't think Mbeumo is like the most need to get player. I just think he's a lot of, basically whenever there is whenever United are on good form, their players are super popular because there's a lot of United fans in the world. So I think there's a bit of bias there where everyone wants to kind of go for a United player. But I don't think Mbeumo is like the most essential player. For me, it's just like I need a Gordon replacement. I can either go super cheap or I can go for another mid-range option like a Saar, that sort of thing. But then Crystal Palace aren't playing great. So Mbeumo makes sense. But I mean, Rodgers is also in and around there. He could also be okay. Yeah, I mean, actually, Rodgers has some pretty good fixtures. I mean, Dye is not the worst, but yeah, I think Anderson's okay. Paulie saying, good evening, buddy. Only choice for me this week is to start Ekatike or Dewsbury. I would go Ekatike. That's fine for me. I think there's going to be goals in that game. Obviously, it could be historically, there's been some 0-0s, but I think there's going to be goals from both sides, and I like Ekatike this week. Like, not enough to captain, but like I think he's an okay asset this week. Have done Ekatike to JP and Bruno to G to Mbeumo. Thankfully, brought Anderson a few weeks ago and lucked out. So Anderson's pretty good. I don't know about the Haaland captain. I still feel like it's a tougher game on paper. I think there's enough differentials for you to go elsewhere. Even JP. I mean, JP could be an exciting punt against Wolves. I like those moves. I think Ekatike to JP, within the next 3 weeks, I think it could pay off. And that's what I was considering. It's just, I don't think Ndai is the best shout as a player. I mean, Bournemouth at home's okay. Fulham away, I mean, I'm playing Anderson, so I hope they keep a clean sheet. Yeah, Bournemouth is an okay game. I mean, he's got that Burnley game in 29, but I probably would maybe take him out before that. So, yeah, it makes sense as a downgrade. The only thing is, like, is Ekatike to JP a more exciting punt? And probably. Shem is saying, hello, I've got Bruno, Enzo, Rodgers, Semenyo, and Wilson. Should I get Mbeumo? Please advise. And do I need to get JP also or not? You don't have to get JP. I mean, I'm not getting him as Shem. I mean, that's the thing is your midfield department looks good. I mean, those players could get you points. So I wouldn't rip up your team and take like a -4 to get Mbeumo in. Keen to Timber -4, you think he starts? I think he starts, and Keen to Timber's a massive upgrade. And also, you're going to get the double anyways, potentially. It's just, are you starting Keane though? Because if you're starting Keane, it makes sense. But if you're starting another defender with an okay fixture, then you can just maybe wait a week and avoid the -4. I keep Saka or move him on, Chris. So I saw the update from Arteta, and obviously we can't trust Arteta. He hasn't been the most sort of like honest manager in the press conferences, but he said that the hip injury, if it was a hip injury, isn't that bad. And it wouldn't surprise me. Imagine if Saka returns for double gaming 26, but even if he does just come back from injury, maybe not the wisest. So for me, it's probably a sell, and then shift the funds around or do what you need to do. Harry, nice to see you. So I want to do Minte to Rice. Okay, so you still have Minte. I'd have to take a hit for my second move to allow for pricing. Should I do VVD down to a 4.6 defender? Gordon to a 6 mil? I would do Gordon. So it's between Gordon and Ekatike for me. I would do Gordon to Anderson if you want that. That looks good to me. Ekatike to like a JP or a Thiago is also there. But I just don't like that Thiago fixture for the time being. So I'd probably say Gordon to like an Anderson makes sense. And it's basically what I'm doing, Harry. You just still own Minte. So that leg still seems pretty dead, it seems. Joining late captain, Bowen, or is owning differential enough? It's owning's differential enough, but that doesn't mean that you can't captain him. So basically any week that Haaland has a tough game, you can go differential. Now, I would probably say that Bruno's going to have a high effective ownership because of the returns last week. So people will the casuals will jump on that and say he's on good form. So there might be some risk as not captaining Bruno, but I don't think it's a week that you can't go for Bowen if you think he does well. The only annoying thing with Bowen is that he's obviously lost the extra point now that he's a forward. So that's a bit annoying. Bonus points are quite hard to come by. But he is on penalties, so maybe Saka to Rice, leave money in the bank for next week as only have one free transfer. Yeah, Chris, that's perfect. Look, Sunderland at home is a good game, but it's only a good game if you're replacing a player that has a bad fixture. So it makes sense that you just wait a week and get as much information. Harry, I'm doing Ndai to Anderson and then Gordon to Mbeumo. That's what I'm looking at doing. Potentially now, but I'm still looking at maybe doing a Katika to JP. I might do a poll. And you guys can let me know what you think. Are you benching Virgil van Dijk? I am, Jag. Do you guys think that that's a bad call? I don't think it's the worst call. Like, out of my defenders, I think he definitely has the worst fixture. But because I'm not captaining Erling Haaland, should I back the Liverpool clean sheet? That could also be a play. It's something that I have been considering, but if I'm going to take Ndai out, I think Anderson's a good player to play. So do I play Virgil van Dijk over Hall? I don't know. I'm backing that Thiago blank, so maybe. Let's manifest the triple figure week. The comeback is on. I'm hoping so. It has the potential, but I mean, last week would have been really nice if we could get that, but our team did exceptionally well anyways. Okay, Paulie, yeah. No, like, out of all the weeks to bench Virgil, this might be the week. And it's not like Liverpool been keeping like a ton of clean sheets. So, no worries, Chris. You don't have to say sorry one more. You can ask as many questions as you want. I appreciate your guys' questions. It keeps the chat flowing. So that's always a nice motivator. Start Sanchez or Dubravka and start two of Shaw, Anderson. Or I would start both your backline players. I would start Anderson and Anderson. So both your Andersons. And in terms of Sanchez or Dubravka, I would go for Sanchez. But just wait, if you can, wait a little bit. At the hour, I'll bring up the projected clean sheets. That might give you a bit of insight. But I would probably go for Sanchez. Buy Mbeumo or Enzo now. I think Enzo for me is more of a priority, as you probably own a Bruno in the first place. What to do with Cherki and Tavernier? So Tavernier is a transfer out. I think Tavernier to Anderson now looks sensible. And then Cherki, yeah, that's a tough one. You could keep him if you think he starts. I mean, the Man City fixtures aren't the worst in the world. They've got 2 home games against Fulham and Newcastle after, and then Leeds, Forest, West Ham. So Cherki's a okay hold if you do want to go there. And I think Doku's still injured, right? Or is he back? What to do with Hall in the future? That is something that I was thinking about. So, Hall's a tough one because if I do want to replace Hall, it's probably Munoz. And Munoz is quite expensive. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at Cherki's minutes here and they're not fantastic, but yeah, I can maybe go over some projected lineups for you later. So Hall's a tough one because, as mentioned, I probably would want to get like a Munoz if I was to replace him. But I could also go for someone like a Collins, that sort of thing. It's a wait and see, but yeah. The only thing that worries me about Munoz is that Crystal Palace haven't looked great, and losing Mark Gay is a big one. Oh, not Hall as in Haaland. I mean, I probably would just keep Haaland. We have so much money at the moment. Like, maybe if Palmer was an option, or Salah was an option, or even Saka was an option, then we might have to look at that. But at the moment, we have a lot of funds. And I mean, our teams are looking pretty stacked in the first place. So I probably would just keep Haaland. I don't think he's going to be benched, that sort of thing, too much in the future. There's enough of these FA Cup games and that sort of thing, League Cup games for Mamouche to get his minutes. So I'm fine with keeping Haaland for now, but Captaincy's a different decision. Captaincy might be put on other players for the time being. Are you going for Gabriel or Rice for captain next week? I think I'm going to go for Gabriel, to be honest. I'm pretty keen on that. I had already made the JP. Okay, you just retracted the message. Yeah, JP's a fine transfer. Thoughts on Saka to Rice and Lafitte to Sarr? Yeah, that's fine, Michael. The only thing about Sarr, and I think it's a bit overrated, is people are worried about Gameweek 31's blank. So if you guys don't know, there might still be a chance, or am I correct in saying that it's official that Crystal Palace will blank? I think Crystal Palace will probably blank in 31. Let's just say that. But between now and 31, there's enough of a sufficient amount of game weeks to get over the line for an extra transfer. So I like Sarr, and I think Saka to Rice makes sense. Saka to Rice is probably the most sensible option. It's only one free transfer. You're still completing your Arsenal triple up. But I still do like Timber if you guys do want to go for an alternative. Any transfers today? Yeah, we're going to make 2 free transfers. It's probably Anderson and Mbeumo in for Ndai and Gordon. Who do you think is the best midfielder for 7.9 million or less? It's probably... I don't want to say Anderson. No, I'm not going to say Anderson. I think Rice has to be there if you don't own an Arsenal triple up. I think Rodgers also pretty good at that price point. If you want to go a little bit cheaper on the bracket, like a Saar could impress over these next few games. I've mentioned Anderson if you just want a ton of money in the bank. Besides that, I don't know. I mean, Mbeumo's just over that. Wirtz is just over that. If we could predict if Cunha or like a Mud would play, they could potentially be there, but I don't know if I would go for a United player besides maybe an Mbeumo or a Bruno. So I don't know. Start Anderson, Forrest, or Thiago. I mean, if you have Thiago, you probably just play him because he could get a penalty, that sort of thing. I want a cheaper defensive option to replace Heaven. So mentioned Hill from Bournemouth. If he continues to play, the Bournemouth fixtures are really good. And then also Alderete, that sort of thing. Those are sensible options, the Sunderland cheap options. Thoughts on selling Semenyo or Bruno G? I'm more confident in selling Bruno G just because of the fact that he might not even play. Whereas Semenyo, the Liverpool game could have goals in it. He's got a high effective ownership. He looks like he's going to be starting the majority of games. So I'd be more confident selling Bruno G. And I mean, Bruno G was outperforming his XG and XA anyways. So I already made the JP and Mbeumo moves before price changes. Have I made a mistake not to go? No, I think your team actually, like in cash, this is what I was thinking is it's so close that your combination could outperform, you know. So it's not a mistake. Don't worry. Did Pep say Haaland isn't starting this week? Or am I mistaken? Sid, I think you're mistaken. All he said was that Haaland's the best striker in the world. I think that's what he said. Do you think Rice will get a rest at some point? Yeah, so Michael, it's like, he could. I've seen some Arsenal fans that have said that maybe he gets rested this weekend, maybe he gets rested later on. I think the same could be said about any Arsenal assets. If you're worried about Rice, you should be worried about Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, all those players because they've also played the majority of minutes and they also might need a rest. So I'm trying to not overthink it too much though. So I'm just going for whoever I think, if they were to play the majority of minutes, could get points. Safal is saying too late to buy Enzo. No, it's not too late. I think he's still a great option, and they've got their best 3 fixtures now. So no worries, Nigel. Thanks for the question. FPL Rehits is coming in saying hope you well. A question: I'm thinking about doing Saka / Sobo to Rice Wirtz. Okay, so that's a bit side. I would just keep Soboslai. Would you suggest yeah? I think just do the Rice move. I like Wirtz. I think that he could be better than Soboslai, but I think it's a bit sideways. I would just do the Rice move and bank the other transfer, Rohits. Let me just check if I've missed anything here. Don't want to miss any. Okay, the one is saying first bench, O'Reilly or Mukiele. That is tough. I think O'Reilly. Rafa Reza. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, I think then it's okay for a -4 then, Rafa Reza. I think that's fine. Is there any reason why JP is being so overlooked for captaincy this week? Surely a Wolves defense is worse than Spurs. So I just want to confirm something here on the side. Because I know Wolves have been bad, but have they been? Okay, so they've conceded 2 to Bournemouth. Yeah, okay. I mean, they've conceded, but they haven't. Okay, maybe actually they've. Yeah, they're not like. They look bad. But actually, okay, since this is a question now, it reminds me. Let's go over projected goals, because maybe this gives us some clarity. So I'm going to load these up. I just want to check Twitter quickly to see if there's been anything that's dropped. Okay, I don't see anything here. Okay. Let's go over. Let's go over the projected goals. Okay, so this is going to give you some clarity on those tougher to make calls. Let me just give me a second here, guys. Sorry, I'm just changing something. Okay, so let's go over the projected goals here. As you guys can see, there's been a few changes. So the biggest change, I think, is United. United have gone from 2 to 2.2. So they're actually rivaling Arsenal as the best goal scorers this week. Sorry, I just realized that I'm quite red. So let me just change the lighting. So now I'm actually going to be really pale. So I do apologize for that one. So United are rivaling Arsenal, which makes Bruno a better option and Mbeumo maybe a better transfer in. So Chelsea are still okay. The projection's 1.9. That does look okay. I just think it's maybe people are a bit more confident in captaining a Bruno. There's a lot of avenues for points. Maybe if João Pedro's on penalties, that'd be a bit of an extra in his bracket. But he's still a good option. If you want to go there, I think it's okay. Do I think that João Pedro's a better option than Bruno? Maybe. I still feel like Bruno maybe edges him out on it. But those three fixtures are basically the ones to target because there's a bit of a drop-off to a Newcastle, a Liverpool, a Brighton. If Gordon was fit to start, I might have just kept him 1.66, not the worst in the world. And also with Ekitike, it's a decent sort of option. When you do look at the clean sheets, though, there's a heavy favourite here, and that's going to be Arsenal as expected. 56% is insane. I think it might be the second or third highest clean sheet percentage this season. So looking pretty likely as an Arsenal clean sheet. Big drop off then to Fulham, who now come in second at 36%, and then Chelsea at 35%. So there was the question of should you start Sanchez or Dubravka, and it's Sanchez quite easily. Dubravka only 22%. So a few tough to call games here, a few very standout fixtures. I think Liverpool Man City is going to be exciting. That should be probably one that's quite integral to our teams. But I'll leave these up for now. I mean, I'll help you guys out if you need any questions on them. As always, thanks to Rob T FPL. He's going to be on the top of your screen. Okay, cool. So missed a few questions here. Okay, so SDGT, I don't know if it is Sergeant, but there's Keenan, Dyer, Gordon to Anderson, and Mbeumo makes sense for -4. If you have to start Keane, then yes. The only thing though, let me just think about this. Okay, so Keane to Anderson is probably where the -4 comes in because you're doing the same moves that I am. Okay, so just mention who's your starting defenders at the moment, or do you have to start Keane? Because then the -4 makes sense. Chip options, at the moment, all I'm thinking about is potentially triple captain Gabriel in 26, but otherwise wildcard 32, dead end 31. Currently, that's my only thoughts. How's it, Philippe? Hopefully you're doing well. Chanukam is saying, Eddie, hope you're well. Just one question. I have 0 money in the bank. I need to transfer out Gordon. Who do you think is the best option? So there's a few here. You can go for Saar at like 6.2. You can go for Anderson at 5.4. If you have 0.0 in the bank, I think you pretty much just go down. Yes, there could be like a United option in and around there, but I think it's either probably Saar or Anderson that I would look at. That's what I say. There is Dango. So Dango is an interesting one. Like, the stats really like him. The only thing is that he's got 2 tough fixtures now, which I probably wouldn't look at. So that's why I think it's either Anderson or Saar for me. That's what I probably would say. My defenders are Virgil van Dijk, Hall, Keane, Gabriel, and Dorgu. Okay. Okay, then I think it's basically, do you think Anderson outperforms Virgil van Dijk by 4 points? Maybe in the future, but we have to sort of isolate it to one game week because this is the game week you're doing it in. Virgil, what does Virgil get? Virgil probably gets 3 points. If Anderson keeps a clean sheet, it might be 8, it might be more. I think I might just play Virgil in your situation. Lost 15 points. Why, Philippe? What happened? Was it the captain? Was it the Bruno captain? How's it, Evie? Who are you looking to bring in over the next 3 weeks? Vian, I'm currently looking at just this week. I think I'll make 2 transfers. Next week, I might roll, and then I probably would bring Thiago in either game week 26, 27. That's my only current plan. I might look to make a defensive transfer next week, but I don't know. Because the thing is, if you keep Virgil, his fixtures are actually semi-decent. So we can actually maybe do some planning after this. Is it worth going Ekitike to João Pedro? I can't say it's worth it, but I definitely think the fixtures are better. I was looking at potentially doing that transfer, so I can't really knock it. And I might still, but I think I'm leaning towards going for Anderson. -4 for JP over Thiago. Just give me a bit of clarity there. Are you saying that you want to take Thiago out for JP from -4? Or are you currently doing a transfer and it's between Thiago and JP? Just let me know that. Then I can answer it a bit better. Salem coming in with a super chat saying, I've got 2 free transfers. Sell Saka for Mbeumo or Rice. I have Raya and Gabriel. If I go Mbeumo, I can do Timber for O'Reilly tonight or will run out of money. So I think I would do Mbeumo Timber. For me, those 2 moves look better, Salem. And they look really good. I mean, I can see your 2 transfers doing really well. Yes, it's going to be a triple up, but so maybe, Salem, are you comfortable captaining Gabriel next week? If you really want to captain Rice, then you can go for Rice. But I think I prefer the Mbeumo Timber sort of moves. What to do with Cherky? So, Andrew, I mentioned that Cherky's okay. Tavernier's probably a transfer out, and I would go for Anderson. That's probably what I would do. Sorry, guys, misclicked there. Should I do Cherky to Gordon? No, don't do Cherky to Gordon. And I don't think you do Gordon to Cherky. So either way, don't do it. Is Casemiro a cheap option? He's fine. I mean, he's been getting points, so I can't knock it. Every time someone asks me, I'm like, I don't think I would do it. But he's literally been getting so many points that I don't know. Ahmed saying, how's it legend? My midfield is Enzo, Rice, Semenyo, Wilson, and Mbeumo. Do you think I should make any changes? The only thing I might consider is Bruno, but you need some money to do that. Also, who to bench, Wilson or Thiago? If you have Thiago, you probably play him. I can check projected points for you. It might be close between them, but yeah, I feel like if you own the one, you probably want the other. Okay, so what you're asking about Thiago... Okay, so Thiago's points aren't that bad this week. Yeah, so Thiago just edges it out slightly. I think it's the penalty threat. Last week there was a question about whether to bring in Bruno instead of Saka. I should keep Saka. That cost me 15 points. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Was it before we... Oh no, but Saka got injured in the warm-up, didn't he? Was that it? I want to see your team. Yeah, we can go over the team. Listen to your wife. Yeah, at least that's going well. At least the relationship's well. -4 hit for Pedro and selling Thiago. No, I would keep Thiago. Because as mentioned, what you're doing is you're taking a -4 this week and a transfer. And you want to probably bring Thiago in a few weeks' time. So just keep Thiago. If you had to start 2 of Vert, Semenyo, and Wilson for this game week, who would you start? I might just go for projected points in this one and just see what happens. Okay, so let's see. Wirtz is on 4.2. Semenyo's on less, and Wilson is on more. So it looks like Semenyo bench. That's what it looks like. Yeah, those debates are too close to me. Okay, cool. So I think I'm going to explain to you guys my moves, and then you can let me know what you think. So let's just adjust this. Okay, so... Okay, yeah, do you know where I adjusted it? So this is the situation. So listen carefully here. Okay, so Gordon is departing my team. I could do Gordon to like a cheap option like an Anderson or whatever, but I just feel like I just don't know about Ndai at the moment. So I'm looking at doing Gordon out for Mbeumo, but I need an extra 0.9. So there's two options here. The first option is I take out Ndai and I go for Anderson, who's 5.3. So just a reminder, Ndai to Anderson. Or what I can do is I can take out Ekatike and I could go for João Pedro. Okay. So just remember that. Gives you a little bit of money in the bank, but okay. So it's either the Ndai Anderson or it's the Ekatike João Pedro. So I'm going to put a poll up and you guys can let me know what you prefer. You don't have to put it in chat. Start a poll. Which one? So option 1 was Ndai to Anderson. And then the other one is... okay, cool. Which one? So you guys can let me know which one you prefer out of these two. Vernon is saying Cunha's better on form. He does go through purple patches as well. Yeah, it is true. I like Cunha. I like Cunha as an option. It just seems like most United fans are saying that Mbeumo is slightly more nailed. I can actually go over like a comparison between the two and we can take a look. So if we look at Mbeumo, I don't know if you guys can see... Okay, you can see XG involvement there. So if we go down to the bottom, I guess we can only really look recently though, because... So he's got 0.8, 0.1, 0.65, okay? And he has played 90 minutes... 70, okay, but this might have been just coming back from AFCON. We then have Cunha, who I think was benched at the start. Yeah, so if you look at Cunha's actually, he's been okay. I mean, this is like hardly any minutes, so we can't really judge him on this. But like 0.26 is lower than I think Mbeumo was, so yeah, I don't know. I think Mbeumo, he is more expensive, but I think it might be worth that extra increase. Okay, so you guys can vote on the poll. I'm pretty sure most of you... Okay, actually, it's 50-50. So vote on the poll if you guys want to. Yeah, okay, so I get what you're saying, Vernon. The thing I like about Cunha is that he's super selfish. And I do mean that like as a compliment. I don't mean that he's like a bad teammate. But he's like very shoot on sight, always takes on an opportunity, that sort of thing. And that's why his XG maybe is so low, is because he takes on those long shots and he actually scores those long shots. So I get what you're saying. Cammy's saying, get a suit and tux event tonight, jumping on to wish you good luck. So Cammy, I would. But currently in SA, it is so hot. I'm just checking what temperature it was. So it was 32 today, which I get might not be the hottest, but like this room that I'm in gets so hot. So suit and tie, I might literally collapse from heat stroke. Probably an exaggeration, but yeah. But maybe if we get like 100-point game week, we could do that. This week I did Saka to Fernandes and Virgil to Timber. The way it's going, something about a score and Fernandes 2-pointer. Philippe, so you're telling us not to captain? Are you telling us not to captain Bruno this week? Sorry guys, I do apologize. I think I just hit the mic. Okay, I don't see anything as of yet. Okay, I don't see anything yet. So we should probably lock in those transfers, though, fairly shortly. Oh, okay, Cammy, I do apologize. No, I completely misread that. Good luck, Cammy. Hopefully you enjoy it. And I'm pretty sure you're looking in tip-top shape. Hopefully your FPL team is looking in tip-top shape as well. So I do apologize for messing up on that one. Enjoy your evening, brother. I missed what you're going to do with Gordon. Gordon to Mbuemo, probably. What plans, broski? Kunal, so it looks like we're going to be doing... Okay, so the poll has now shifted. So Ndai to Anderson was leading, but now Ekatike to João Pedro is leading. I mean, I do like the punt on JP. I mean, these fixtures are like ridiculous. These fixtures are ridiculous. And compare them to Liverpool's. Sorry, you guys can't see this, but yeah. I don't even think you can... Okay, you can see them here now. Like, just compare. So, what? Man City, Sunderland, Nottingham Forest away. Then he does have West Ham Wolves, which is okay. But then just compare them to, like, the Chelsea fixtures. Look at this. Wolves away, Leeds at home, Burnley at home. Like, taking advantage of this... Not taking advantage of this just seems wrong. But I still feel like Ekatike can do okay. Yes, whenever he plays, he just gets chances. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, JP's chances are also pretty high. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think I don't know, maybe it's the 0.0 in the bank, but I think I like the Anderson one. I think I probably would want him more long-term anyways, so. That's the move I'm currently looking at, and then I guess we can use the funds for Ekatike to Thiago and then upgrade another apartment. Actually, let me just go and check something quick. Okay, if we do some planning here. Okay, so Anderson instead of Big Verge. Sorry, let me just... I can't see the screen. Okay, so... let's just see if we needed to... How's the team looking next week? Okay, so Virgil will come in against Sunderland. Then we have to play Hall. I mean, maybe we can make a transfer there. Like a Lacroix something. I don't know. Or we just play him against Spurs. This fixture's a bit tough, but then I guess we can always just play Anderson here. And then the problem is that Ekatike actually has good fixtures. So like, it gives us an excuse to just keep Ekatike. And we might want Thiago. So that's why I like the JP move, because it gives us options. Okay, let me just think here quick. And how are Anderson's fixtures? Okay, they're okay. Okay, let me lock in the moves. Let me just check Twitter quickly to see if anything's... Okay, let's make some transfers. Okay, so Gordon is definitely going to Mbeumo. Okay, and I think I'm going to do Ndai to Anderson. Ndai to Anderson, Gordon to Mbeumo. I'm going to confirm that. And then my vice captain will be on Enzo. And that's going to be the team. So just give me a second. You guys can lock in your moves if you want to. Yeah, so everyone's saying go for JP. Switch Thiago to JP. I don't know, Vernon, if you think about doing that move, I don't know if I would do that. I think, as I mentioned, it's like a 2 transfer move because you probably want Thiago in a few weeks anyways. Okay, let me just post this to my Discord. And then me just post it to YouTube. VVD over Anderson Defo, says Jag Singh. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I just feel like we're going to concede. Let me just edit. I made a typo here. Okay. Saka to Enzo and Thiago to Pedro and get in Rice next game for Ndai. Thoughts, please? I like Saka to Enzo. Vernon, as mentioned, I don't know. So, as mentioned, Thiago to Pedro to me is like, you're going to take out Pedro this week for a transfer. Then in Gameweek 27, you're going to go Pedro to Thiago again. So that's 2 transfers. I don't know if it's worth the 2 transfers. Andy, I'm just saying, but Virgil van Dijk scores 2, bro. He does. And that's the thing is like the Virgil van Dijk attacking threat is definitely higher than Anderson's. But I just feel like you have to go for a defender that has a chance of a clean sheet, and this week Anderson's is pretty strong. I have the same team as yours, except Choki instead of Gordon. What move should I make? I can't afford Ndai to Anderson, but can afford JP. Yeah, I'll do the JP move then, if you can't afford him. Captain Bruno or JP and bench one of Virgil. Don't like that one. Ndai Anderson. I'd bench Virgil out of Ndai Anderson, and I'd captain Bruno over JP. So Andy, now the opposite's going to happen. Ewan is saying, I have Saka, Enzo, Szoboszlai, Bruno, Anderson. Thinking about doing Saka to Rice, then maybe Szoboszlai to Mbeumo or Wirtz. I have Timber and Reyes, so Arsenal defense covered. Okay, so Rice is okay. I wouldn't do Szoboszlai to Wirtz. Szoboszlai to Mbeumo is okay. That's fine. I'd do that, Ewan. Hanan is listed the team. What to do? Okay, so you're. Let me just scope here. Virgil, Gabriel, Keane. Okay, yeah, so you Anderson over Keane. And then I would do... And Wilson over Bruno G. That's what you should do. I thought the team looks fine then. Yes, you're starting Virgil, but I mean, it's okay. You actually could start Rodon over Virgil. Let me check leads. 33%. Yeah, you could start Rodon over Virgil if you think they're going to keep the clean sheet. Will you start Keane if you haven't benched Virgil? I won't start Keane. I don't think Keane plays Winston. Do I keep Pedro Neto transfer out to Richie? I mean, I haven't even been keeping tabs on Neto. I'm just going to go on projected. He has like he's X minutes on 2 greats, so I might consider selling him. Let me just maybe check if there's a projected lineup quick. Yeah, I don't think, looks like Neto's going to start, so I think you probably sell then, eh? Christian has been a legend for 42 months. Absolutely insane. Saying, good luck this game week, Davey. Who do you prefer of Mbeumo or Rogers? Mbeumo, slightly. Rogers also okay, though. If you need the money, then I think Rogers. Gia saying, hey, Davey, long time in a live stream. Good to be here. Rolling this week with Saka to get information. Plus, only have one free transfer. Want to be flexible. Wish my luck against Mbeumo owners. Thank you, Gia. Good to see you back. Nice to see you back. Hopefully, it's been a good live stream. The previous ones have been a bit insane. 0.5 away from Anderson. Any options for 4.5? No, I wouldn't. I would keep Ndai then, and I would do Ekatike out. So I would do Ekatike to João Pedro, Ekatike to Thiago if you can't afford the Mbeumo transfer, and you can't afford Anderson. Sky, thank you for becoming a legend member. Absolutely insane. I know it says welcome, but I feel like you've been a legend member before, so do appreciate the renewal. Why Bruno captain? Connor, I just think he's got a great potential for points. I don't think Spurs defend well, and I think that United are on hot form. And Bruno in the 10 is like a really good FPL asset I've seen. Derichi's been a legend member for 50 months. I mean, we just keep on going up and up. I want to captain Bruno, but I don't know, Spurs will do some shenanigans and then lose to Asna. I mean, as a Spurs fan, Derichi, you know them better, but were you happy with the draw last week, or were you a bit upset? Late comeback is on, eh? Sadesh, we hope so. I mean, that's all we can hope for. We can hope that it's going to be a nice little boost, but let's see what sort of happens. Timber or Raya, Oscar? I would go for Timber. Hey, Davey, do I play Cash over Anderson defenders? Okay, so let me see. Aston Villa. I still think you probably play Anderson. Yeah, Aston Villa's chances aren't that great. Fulham's are pretty good. I would go Anderson still. So Sky, I'd still go Anderson over Cash. Should I do Wilson to Anderson? No, just keep Wilson. Yes, I was. Draw was optimal. Okay, I get you. I would have thought that maybe you would have been fine with the loss, just because then it keeps the pressure on Arsenal. Start Lafi or Kadioglu. Kadioglu. Gone Virgil van Dijk starting lineup. Good luck, Jag. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I think that'll be good if he gets some points. I'll be a bit disappointed because he's on my bench, but let's see what happens. Clips, you are slightly premature, brother. Just a little bit. Virgil or Reinders? Virgil, just because I don't know if Reinders is going to play. Let me check. Okay, we've got 3. Vian, you're also premature. Akashi premature. Everyone before me was premature, but yeah. 10 seconds to go, Bishop. It's not. It's actually done. Gone JP for Ekatike. Aaron, I like that move. It was quite close between the two for me. I just feel like any Liverpool striker, if he's nailed, should get you points. So I'm hoping for that at least. But JP's a great option. Great fixtures, as said. Feels really weird to only have one Chelsea attacker or defender in my starting 11, but you can't own them all, I guess. But yeah, that's going to be the deadline, guys. This live stream was a bit more chilled than the previous ones. No early team sheet news. Let's see what happens tonight. At least we own a player tonight, though. At least we're excited for Anderson. Let's see if he can get us some FPL returns, as that'll be quite nice. But I'm going to let you guys get back to enjoying your Friday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are around the world. Maybe even Saturday morning. I do apologize if that is your guys' time zone. But thanks for joining this one. It's been a good one. Been, as mentioned, a more chilled one. And I'll see you guys for all that goodness in terms of Game Week 26. Let's hope for a massive green arrow, and Game Week 25 is an absolute banger. But for the time being, I'm signing off with Navy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.